everything works. So let's kick off, guys, okay? Today Sony announced the Sony A1II and the 28-70mm 2.0 GM lens. I saw the quick reaction on sonyalpha and also on my YouTube channel, and there is a mixed feeling. So some people are really disappointed that this is not a major update, and some think like, yeah, it's a solid update, I will probably buy it because it's, after all, the best alpha camera you can buy. You can do everything perfectly fine. Probably they were hoping for more, but it's good enough, and it's also priced at the same level of the Sony A1. So the Sony One got a $1,000 price drops today, so for them it's enough. I was actually not expecting to do a live stream today, but I got a news that is quite surprising, and that's why I want to discuss this with you, because the expectations were low based on my rumors and based on the announcement we had. But I have the chance to see real-time pre-orders in Europe. The pre-orders are not live in the US right now, but in Europe, yes. I was actually expecting to make 0 sales through my links. Those are affiliated links that track the sales, and I checked it probably just to have the confirmation that there would be no sales, and actually the sales are really strong. So by comparison, it's selling much better than the A9 III, okay, but way better. So something like 4 or 5 times better than Sony A9 III. And actually I was expecting Sony A1II to sell about the same. At least the Sony A9 III was something like a very new kind of camera with the global shutter tech, and I thought the Sony A1II would not be enough for Sony A1, current Sony A1 shooters to step up, because there are improvements, there are many improvements in many small areas. We will walk you through those, but they were not so, as a whole, this is not really a big, major advancement. I checked the pre-orders and they are high. So at least as of now, in the first hours, 4 or 5 times higher than the A9 III pre-orders. And this is totally unexpected, because actually based on new reaction comments, this camera shouldn't sell, basically, okay? So I will quickly walk you through the browser, the features, so that everybody is clear about what we are getting from Sony. Wait, I have to fit this on the to the screen. Okay. This is the lens. I will show you now a couple of slideshows that have been shared officially by Sony. This is the 28-70 I really like that lens. As you can see, it's not crazy big, and it's actually lightweight for what it is. The only lens we can compare it with is the Canon 28-70, and that one is half a kilo more. So this is a really nice lens to have. When it comes to the Sony A1II, it basically has the core specs of the Sony One, but with the addition of the new AI chip that improves every aspect of the camera, like autofocus, subject recognition, and so forth. Those were the only 2 products announced, so that's all we got today. I mean, it's a lot. The highlight is, of course, the new AI chip. The autofocus specs are basically the same of the Sony A1, with the same points and coverage and so forth. 30 frames per second. It can make 120 calculations per second. That's really nice, so you can be really sure that the camera will nail the shot. It has pre-capture. That's very nice to have, really amazing. I love that feature on the A9 III, so I'm happy to see it on the Sony A1. It has speed boost. This is also something very cool, very new on the Sony A1II that the Sony A1 doesn't have. And let's move further. Yeah, the specs are, when it comes to stills, are about the same. You can see here that it says a reduced noise at mid to high ISO, but this is only for the JPEG images. The raw images are basically the same quality. It has the most advanced stabilization system on any alpha cameras, with 8.5 stop on the center of the image, which is kind of unique. I've never seen this before from any manufacturer, but yeah, how they describe it. I'm moving quickly forward. Yeah, that's something you can check for yourself. All those features listed by Sony. There's nothing. Yeah, real-time AI recognition, of course, that's improved. You can import 16 user LUTs. That's also something very useful. Of course, it has the same screen of the A1II, which is wonderful. The OLED EVF can now do up to 240 frames per second. The Sony A1 could only do 60 frames per second. Of course, the same grip of the A1II, so I'm really going fast forward here because there's really nothing new. Also, dedicated microphone for voice memo for professional, that can be useful. You can of course work in tandem with the device to the 5G device from Sony. Let's quickly end here the automatic file transfer to the creator's cloud app and so forth. Let's see. Sony said that now we have 77 E-mount lenses, 56 full frame, and that's about it. Yeah, the sharpness improved, the details improved, but only in JPEG. Again, RAW is about the same. That's now about the lens. The lens is really, I think, a great lens. Now I'm really not going to tell you everything about it because you can just check the links below this video to BH Photo, Amazon and so forth. They will link you to the camera specs and lens specs, and that's about it. That's all I wanted to show. Probably the one thing that is important to see right now is the pricing. The Sony A1II basically has the same Sony A1 price. The Sony A1 just got a price of $1,000, like I said before, and the 20X70 2.0 actually has a very competitive pricing with $2,900. That's exactly like the Canon, but the Sony should be optically superior from the reviewers. That has been confirmed, so this is really a nice lens. Okay, I made this quick overview for you, so now we share my opinion on the Sony A1II and the 20X70mm lens. Let's kick off with the 20X70mm 2.0 lens. It's an excellent lens. As usual, Sony nails it when it comes to lenses. I checked a couple of reviews and they all say that optically it's superior to the Canon, and it's half a kilo less and a bit narrower, smaller filter size, so you can really use it. It's not like you will need to make a lot of heavy lifting before to be able to carry that lens and shoot with a lens. So it's something that you can really has a practical use. So if you are into 2.0 zooms, this is an excellent lens. That's it over. I think nobody will complain about this lens not being good enough or missing or lacking some kind of features. The real thing here is the Sony A1II, and the Sony A1II has some kind of improvements that really make it like a more mature product compared to the Sony A1. So I really like the body, so the faster EVF, the screen, the fully articulating screen, pre-capture and so forth, that's all useful. The AI chip, of course, that's important. There is a measured improvement shared by Petapixel that we have to check out because I listed it on sonyalpha.com. And let's see for a moment so I can show you this. Yeah, you can see here. I read it on Petapixel and featured on sonyalpha. The autofocus has 30% improvement in eye detection for animals and humans, and 50% boost in bird eye detection compared to the Sony A1. It also has that's something very cool, automatic subject recognition. That's super cool because you no more have to toggle between the different subjects. So if you have a mixed scenario where you have different animals, persons, and so forth, it can automatically switch to the right subject, and I think that's a very useful feature. So when it comes to the improvements to the autofocus system, 30%, up to 50%, that's really a lot. Okay, so overall this is an evolution with, I think, for professionals this might be worth to update because having better grip, a better autofocus, and some other minor improvements will make it probably worth for them. For us, I'm not a professional wildlife shooter or sport shooter. I don't need speed cameras, so I would have never considered any way to buy the Sony A1II unless it has something really crazy special. For me, this camera is not so interesting. Still, I think Sony could have done a bit more because the competition is already there, like the Canon R5 2 or 3, the Nikon Z8 and 9, they're all, of course, on some features the Sony A1II will be better, and some other aspect the Canon or Nikon will be better, but it's not going to be to really vastly outperform those cameras. And the Sony A1II now will last at least for, I think, 4 years, nearly 3.5, 4 years, before there will be a Sony A1III, and maybe in 1-2 years the competition will come out with a new flagship model that will really could be much superior to the Sony, maybe not, because we also have to be honest that the big quantum leaps in improvements, those days they are gone. If you remember 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we were talking about big improvements in autofocus, megapixel rays, and so forth. I think now we have hit the top, and we can only expect in major cases smaller improvements. Doesn't matter if it's Sony, Canon, Fuji, and so forth. So I don't see big improvements coming apart of the global shutter for the Sony A1 III, which is definitely something that opens new features. I think we would need new kind of tech to see real big improvements. For example, a 3-layer foveal sensor would give you a ton of improvement in terms of color, fidelity, resolution, and so forth. So if one day Sigma is working on it, trying to fix it, they're still not being able to do that. But imagine Sony having such a sensor. That would be a major step forward. Of course, direct integration with 5G cellular network straight from the camera for me would be great, or more in-app purchase support and so forth. But those would be major improvement, but I don't see them coming anytime soon. But now I'm going through your comments because let's sum it up. We were all supposed to be unhappy with the camera, so that's what's expected. But what I'm telling now is that European pre-orders are high, really much stronger than I expected. Tomorrow I will also let you know how the US pre-orders will be, because they will be, you cannot pre-order the camera now. So PH Photodorama, Amazon, Best Buy and so forth will only accept pre-orders from tomorrow early in the afternoon, and then maybe I will let you know how those pre-orders are going. But now I will walk through your questions and see what your folks are about this camera. Okay, let's scroll back a bit. Okay, let's see your questions. Okay, for 24-105 2.8 from Sun in the future. I only heard. So when it comes to rumors, I heard 2 solid things about what's coming in early 2025. The Sony A7 V, so that's solid. And I heard about a new Sony Zoom. But this I didn't publish yet on sonyalpha.com, or I didn't talk about on this YouTube channel, but you made a small donation. So I'm telling you that I got a clear, solid evidence about a Zoom. And I will hopefully be able in the next weeks to confirm the specs, and then I will share it on this channel, so definitely stay tuned. Then, okay, let's see. I heard that the AI chip on the A1II is even better than on the A9 III. I heard it in one of the reviews, so I think, I don't know if it was Petapixel, that it should be slightly improved over the A9 III, so this should be the best chip, AI chip ever from Sony. What the A1II is still missing is 8K out of the Ninja, yeah, of course. But let's see how this will work out with support. I have a bit of a cold, sorry, so that's why you hear me sometimes. No rain dust protection. I think there is some minimum sealing, weather sealing. I don't know what the rating is, but I forgot it. But there is a specific rating for this. But it's not like weather sealed like for example, an OM Digital OM1II camera that you can really hold under a tap water, for example. No 8K60, that's a disappointment. I don't know if we'll be able to do it externally with firmware update one day. I don't think so. But yeah, he is really saying goodbye to Sony. But how many times did I read comments goodbye to Sony and then people comes back? So I wouldn't count on that being true. Do you have only Sony A7 V news? I only have news about the possible time frame for the announcement, and I'm waiting for confirmation. But if it gets confirmed, then it's really soon. So that means that I will only have a short break from rumor time, because after Christmas we will have to start to talk about the Sony A7 V. I didn't get any specs yet. Let's move on. 2470, yeah. The zoom extends for 1 centimeter, so that's not much, but I think Sony had to do it to keep the size and everything in a certain way. They had to do it, so I was expecting it. Some other questions that you have, let me know what you think about the Sony A1II, because one thing is hearing rumors, reading the specs, but maybe by watching the reviews from people that tested it, you might get then a better impression, because overall there are so many small improvements that you think like now, yeah, probably it's more interesting than expected. Do you have any news for the FX cameras? The first camera should be finally the FX9 successor that should have been announced in September, but like I told you, everything got postponed, and now even Sony officially in the latest financial report said that they slowed down the their release cycle for the cameras and lenses because they see a slowdown on the Asian market, mainly on the Chinese market. So and they want to wait out what's going to happen before they announce a new camera, then maybe it doesn't sell, because at the moment there is a bit of a low on the Chinese market, which was expected because it was really crazy after the COVID years, and now it's basically stable or dropping by a bit. That's something that also I read on the Nikon financial report, so it's across the brands, and so maybe that was also a reason why there was a delay. I didn't get any news about the 400 GM2, sorry. I only got a news about another zoom lens that is completely something new, so not a successor of any zoom that currently exists, and also about the A7 V. Yeah, it should be the same kind of weather sealing, or same level of weather sealing. Okay, folks, this is all you. If there are any special questions, this is not about rumors. This is not about really having it now. I don't have this Sony A1II in hand, so I cannot give you a final review. I also actually don't plan to have it because I'm more like a stills photographer, so I use the Sony A7 V. And if it comes to video, I would be really interested to buy the A9 III, but I'm waiting out till the FX3 II comes, because that would probably, if the FX3 II has the same A9 III global shutter, this will be quite an interesting camera. The aps-c Sony is not really big on the aps-c line. I mean, they release a body every 1-2 years. I mean, they released the ZV-E10II, which is an aps-c camera. Lenses, they rarely release them, so they're very slow compared to full frame. Yeah, as you know, I'm a big fan of the idea of getting a Sony A7000, so a Sony A1 for aps-c basically, so that people that don't have $6,000 can get at least the aps-c version of a fast camera with great image quality. But Sony apparently is not going to do that. At least I didn't get any info about that. And wait a second. Maybe, so if you have any rumor, you can use the contact box and this email address to send me rumors about any manufacturer. So not only Sony, probably Panasonic could have an announcement in January. There is rumor about a Canon announcement still happening very soon. So I'm collecting any kind of rumors, and so feel free to share them here. But when it comes to Sony, I know the Sony A7 is coming soon, so please send me your info there. Maybe some of the influencers are right there with Sony managers chatting about the Sony A1II, and maybe they can ask them when to expect the Sony A7 there will be also a new lens. And in 2025, what I would love to see is the new FX3II for personal video work, and also I don't know if there will be a Sony A7S IV, that we don't know. And then my ultimate dream would be the new RX1 R3 fixed lens camera. I only got a small rumor from a news source. He told me something. I might do a video about it, knowing that it's not from a trusted source, so it's really not something that we can really hope that is a final proof that it's coming. But I hope that in 2025 we should get more cameras than we got in 2024, because in 2024 we got the ZV-10II, which is a vlogger kind of camera, and the Sony A1II, and that's about it. And so it's a slow year for a Sony shooter like me. I'm used to have more cameras when it comes to FX, Alpha, ZV cameras. This usually you have 3-4 cameras per year, so I hope that in 2025 we will definitely get the Sony A7 Then my hope is FX3II, and ultimate hope would be to get the fixed lens RX camera. Regarding aps-c, I never owned any aps-c camera except of the first Nex 7, the cool camera with 2 dials on the back. That I had aps-c camera, but then I jumped to full frame. But I didn't hear anything about aps-c. Let's see if there are any more questions. That lens, I got a rumor about the lens. If it's confirmed, it will be released the first quarter of 2025. Actually, I also started right now to get, the last days, to get a rumor about a second lens, but I'm still working on it. But one lens will definitely come in the first quarter of 2025. More about that in my future videos. About the A7 I'm awaiting confirmation. One trusted source told me the time frame, so I hope that other sources can confirm it, because sometimes trusted sources can get wrong information, or information changes in time. So I'm awaiting confirmation before to share it. But if it's confirmed, then it's really soon, so not 6 months from now, earlier. Thanks. She still has some pain on the head from the fall, so let's see if should be fine. But yeah, falling on the head is never, yeah, so nice. EVF tech, I was actually wondering the same, because now the EVF tech is very mainstream across all companies. So like Nikon, Canon, Sony, they are all using this. I think those EVFs are made by Epson, if I'm not mistaken, but correct me if I'm mistaken. They're all using it, and I wonder when there will be some major step forward, because now it's a couple of years that we see the same excellent EVF. I love that 9.4 million dot EVF that I have on the A7R5. It's great, so it's not that I feel the need of having something better, but probably if there is something better, then you, thinking back, you say like, how could I have used that low resolution 9.44 million dot EVF before, now that I have that 20 million dot EVF. Okay, I'm going for yeah, that's something people always ask me why I'm doing those meta rumors about stuff that is coming. I know it's annoying, but the way I do rumor, if you still don't know, is that I have information from solid sources, then but I cannot share it as app, sometimes because they ask me to not share it as app, and sometimes because I'm awaiting confirmation to avoid mistakes. Like I did one small mistake on the A1II specs, that there is no 4.0 generation Type A card, an info I got a month ago, and that was wrong, like the first info about the A1II having the same A1 body. And in the meantime, I got no, it lost with other specs and other rumors. I wasn't able to correct that rumor, so that's why I'm waiting. All I can say, Sony A7 IV and one new lens for sure coming very soon. Any other questions? Okay, folks, that was really a very short live, just to tell you basically the Sony A1II got announced and the 20X70 2.0. The pre-order links are below this video, so you can click on it. Those are affiliated links. You don't pay any cent more. I get a small commission between 1 and 4% depending on the store. Keep in mind the US pre-orders are still not online because Sony 10 years ago decided, at least US 10 years ago decided for some weird reason to open the pre-orders only the day after the announcement. Yeah, I'm just giving you a speculative answer why this might be the case. It's because I remember in those days, many years ago, I was leaking a lot of info that was published by US stores that by mistake they were published, and maybe that's why they decided to send them the material only after the official announcement. But that's a guess, so that I might play a small role in this, but I'm not sure if Sony US is listening. I leaked the A1II anyway, and so you are wasting some opportunity by not offering pre-orders as app, so that people now have the hype, they are there, they feel like they want to pre-order and they want to have the chance to get the camera before others. So it would be nice to have the pre-orders as app. And so that's all I want to tell you, that actually European pre-orders are strong. So that's great, and tomorrow we'll let you know on sonyalpha how the US pre-orders will be. And maybe we were all wrong, we whiners, complainers, that this was a small facelift. And maybe indeed Sony will pull it off and make more sales than we expected. Let's see tomorrow. I will give you more exact numbers about the pre-orders tomorrow or in the next days, okay? Let's see if there's some question left. No, some small. There's some with the old. No. The Sony A7 IV will definitely get the new fully articulated screen. I'm sure about it. Last question, and then I will stop the live stream. I didn't check those specs yet, so I cannot give you an answer. Folks, that's really it. Thank you for that, for being here in that improvised live stream. Let me know in the comment system what you think about the Sony A1II and the lens, of course, and subscribe to the channel to not miss any of the upcoming now Sony A7 IV rumors that are coming. And that's about it, folks.